That's that dingus or whatever.
Space.
What up, you dingus?
You dingus.
Steve.
What do we have here?
Steve Bro.
Did I ever show you that?
Super
I
cool
love
guy.
no, he's like, what do we have here? The building blocks of sushi. We have, he points to like, what does he point to? He points to like octopus, ginger, and wasabi. He's like, we got peaches, got ginger, and guacamole. Wasabi. What's up? Wasabi.
What?
He's like learning how to make sushi. He's like learning how to make sushi with the Japanese chef.
Wasabi.
And he's like, it's not that hard. So let other people from other cultures talk to you. He's like, because if it was just dessert all the time, it'd just be peaches and cream, you duggo.
You duggo.
I never thought Steve Brule was funny.
Holy guacamole.
Till
I've seen pictures of him on Reddit, but I've never watched it.
I love that sense, that weird, just like, I
do like John C. Reilly. I'll give you that.
Yeah. He's got that like
there's some very funny skits.
That like slurry talking humor where he's
slurry talking.
Yes, penis. Steve Brule.
Meme review. All right, are we starting?
I think we already did start, didn't we?
No.
We've just
Am I talking loud enough?
I think you're all talking too loud. All this freaking caffeine in your bones.
I had a Monster at like 3:30. It's like
Bollocks.
frick o'clock.
These are going to take way too long to edit because you clowns are going to be all over the board.
Yeah, probably.
That's okay.
We're definitely going to crash at the end of this.
Oh, yeah.
I'm already crashing.
Uh-oh. Why are you driving the boat? Or the plane?
I'm not driving the boat. I already crashed the boat.
Don't rock the boat, baby.
Don't rock the boat.
You big baby.
All night I'm a chicken, all night I'm a
Oh, jeez.
Guess who's back again.
That
Shady's
young boy.
back.
That boy Zach.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Pop Culture.
What voice
That
is
fell
that?
apart. What? It started off strong. Hey, welcome to the back.
All right, I'm going back to my normal voice then.
You're trying a little too hard today, bud.
Roll one more time.
Welcome back to another episode of the Pop Culture Punks podcast, where we bring you pop culture to the pit.
Wait, what?
Good evening, this is Kent Brockman, bringing pop culture to the pit. That's Simpsons newscast.
I will welcome our alien overlords with loving and open arms.
We bow down to our alien overlords, and now we turn to the master of the alien race, Phil Sorensen, for news on the pop culture.
Hi, my name's Phil. I'm your alien overlord. I will kill you.
Are we supposed to clap? Is that when we clap?
No,
But for real, though, we got a third voice
clap.
here today, which means our boy is back.
Yeah.
You guys couldn't live without me, could
No,
ya?
we couldn't. That's why we drove an hour and a half
Yep.
to have you on.
We're all
Yay.
the way in Milwaukee.
You betcha.
Well, I am happy to be back. I've been listening to other podcasts, and I'm sad that I'm not a part of this one as
You
often
harlot.
as I'm sad I'm not a part of this. You couldn't even use it. Harlot.
Whore.
Slurring it out, you can still hear it. You're a whore. Liqueur. Oh, gosh.
Two of us have had much too many alcohols tonight.
Yeah.
False.
I can drink finally.
Woo!
Darn
all
right.
night I'm drinking all night.
I can drink.
Here we go again. We literally haven't had anything to drink.
Spot of liquor. Spot of quality.
So we have some contentious emails from listeners of the podcast.
Did I
I don't
copy
know
and
if-
paste that one in?
You're not going to ask me how I've been?
No.
Absolutely not.
All right, I'm out.
Well, that was a waste. Not this again.
I'm sweating so much.
I am too.
Woo! Every time I come on the show, you're all sweaty.
You do stuff to me.
make me hot.
That's disgusting.
You make me randy, Philip.
Getting Randy in the pit, baby.
Randy in my pits, baby. Oh no, Philip's randy.
It makes it worse when you
Disgusting.
say Philip.
When you keep saying Randy,
Philip.
You're
Randy.
randy, Philip.
You keep saying Randy like that. I'm Randy. I'm so Randy.
You're making me sweat more.
Because you're Randy.
No, he's in on it.
Once you do a Austin Powers, I gotta join
it doesn't stop.
No,
It doesn't stop unless the host says to stop.
are you telling us to stop?
Yeah.
Wow. My shirt. This is something.
So about that email.
Yeah. Did I copy and paste that one in that one?
No.
Oh. Well, I can read it.
Well,
You can read it and you will read it.
Okay, alien overlords.
I'm glad to see nothing has changed.
I'm your alien overlords with the email.
This is what happens when
See,
you
I
drink
feel
a
like no
Monster.
matter
like,
what voice I do, I will
it's
get
bad.
ridiculed.
It's bad. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
bad.
No, it's not bad. I'll just
all
get
your
ridiculed.
all your voices start off fine, and then they just turn to like just them slurred.
I think it's because like halfway through I realize I'm like doing poorly, so I try to fix it. I try and
start
fix
off-
it, but I fix it in the wrong direction.
Yeah, like you're already doing fine, and then you're like, I need to do better.
I need to improve on this. And I go downhill.
I remember when I first started doing other accents and voices, people were like, why does it have like a tint of Indian to it?
All right. This is an email from a certain listener, Marky Mark.
Marky
He says, I'm going to conjure my best Mark voice.
Conjure. That's satanic.
Summoning
Dude,
Dark
I
Lord
got
Marky
hardcore
Mark.
cramps right now. What the frick was that?
That's his
That
summoning
was my
voice.
that was my summoning. That was my summoning song.
Dude, I'm cramping hard.
Where?
Everywhere.
Okay.
Randy, because I'm Randy.
What if we did conjure up Marky Mark? We summoned him like from the almighty powers. We summon Marky Mark. Hey guys. Oh my
Hello, Mark.
Hello, Mark.
Phil, you gotta settle down.
Mark. I did not hit her. I did not.
How's that email doing?
All right, it's here, waiting patiently. So, from a certain listener named Marky Mark, Dear Misguided Youth, Season 2, Episode 17, Tilt Brigade Origins.
That was 13 episodes ago.
You are making me have to say something. Culver's is only okay, and I will always go out of my way for Taco Bell.
Blasphemy.
I have waited 80 miles.
Disgraceful.
I have waited 80 miles for La Comida de los Dioses. Don't you dare
Does that mean
degrade the image of the
day of the
venerable
5-layer burrito of
Taco
Satan?
Bell. Let me say that one more time for you.
Yeah, say it one more time.
I have waited 80 miles.
You're turning.
I have waited 80
Randy Savage.
I have
For the
waited
cream
80
to
rise to the top.
The Dia de los Muertos burrito is my favorite burrito of all time.
Dear Misguided Youth, Season 2, Episode 17, Tilt Brigade Origins. You are making me have to say something.
No, it's like
It's just angry
like
Hispanic.
devolving to angry Hispanic.
You are making me say I love Taco Bell more than. This is an angry email. Una emalia.
I don't know. I don't believe this email's real.
Who sent this in?
Who said this? Who's Marky Mark?
So to actually say that last
Show
line.
your face.
It's Markiplier.
Show your face, Marky Mark.
Hello, everybody. My name is Mark.
That was a very good Mark voice, by the way.
Yeah, it was. That was spot on.
It was spot on.
But then it turned to Hispanic.
I have waited 80 miles for La Comida.
Next week on Dragon Ball Z.
No, that's like
waited.
no that Dragon Ball Z. Wait, let me actually say what Mark said.
see what he said.
Holy crap! I have waited 80 miles for La Comida de los Dioses, which is the food of the gods. Don't you dare degrade the image of the venerable Taco Bell.
That's us degrading the image.
He said, "All right, I feel better now." Marky Mark.
I defecate on the image
So
of Taco Bell.
he just wanted to clarify that Taco Bell's better. He didn't even want to ask us questions.
Nope.
So
he
how we
just
were
wanted to
doing.
say that we
then
had it all
his
wrong.
rank, this Marky Mark character's ranking is
Taco Bell's over Culver's.
fast food, fast dining, fine dining,
Taco Bell.
Applebee's, Taco Bell.
Bell.
Because I ain't even waiting 80 miles for Applebee's. I ain't waiting 80 miles for nothing.
I'm waiting 80 miles. No,
You don't wait.
If I just wait 80 miles, I'm eating
wait
dirt
80
off
miles.
the ground.
Can a diabetic eat dirt?
I can eat whatever the heck I want.
Is that in your diet?
They'd bring you to the doctor's office like, what did you eat? I was eating dirt.
It doesn't have carbs in it. A lot of protein.
We got a lot of sugar. Someone must have poured some, I don't know, cinnamon rolls or something in the dirt.
There were cinnamon rolls in the dirt. Maybe some donuts.
I don't know. It all got kind of blurry. My vision started fading as soon as I ate some.
I took one bite of that dirt.
Okay, so now that we got that out of the way.
Well, first I need to address that because I didn't hear about this until just now. Marky Mark, if you disrespect Culver's, you're disrespecting the Midwest that you live in. So...
If you disrespect Taco Bell, you're disrespecting Mexico, and that's even worse.
Are you in Mexico
now?
Then
you're racist. Piece of crap. How dare you?
Hey, I'm not saying.
That's not.
I don't say anything against the Mexicans. It's against Taco Bell. It's against Taco Bell.
Is Taco Bell cultural appropriation?
It kind of is, yeah.
That's a valid question.
Sorry, like Culver's is Midwestern cuisine. Taco Bell is cultural appropriation.
There's like a
end of the argument.
There's like a BuzzFeed article like, is the Dorito taco new cultural appropriation?
White privilege all over Taco Bell.
The Dorito taco is
White
just a
privilege
disrespect
man
to...
says Taco Bell is not cultural appropriation. we dreamed up this superhero.
White privilege man.
So we were.
It was with Chris Rogers.
We were playing this Marvel like card game, like a Magic type game, and like somehow we were talking about superheroes, and I was like, "You don't like Batman at all?" And he's like, "No, Batman is just white privilege."
Oh,
man.
Chris was joking. Yeah, he was like,
and then
Batman
Josh and I
man.
just ran with that.
We
Like,
laughed so hard, and then we were just like, "What would it be like in a satirical story if there was a guy who was the embodiment of white privilege man?" And he just walked around with his male white privilege and just like was his like quote
stop
unquote
minorities from doing things.
It just was like super terrible.
It's awful.
Well, I mean, we were just laughing so hard at just how ridiculous you could be of like. He gets pulled off by an officer.
His immunity is that he has white privilege, so no one attacks him.
Yeah. So he's just like, "Halt, thief! I have white privilege," and then it's like, "Oh, sorry,
rats! He's got white privilege."
So yeah, we dreamed that up.
Yeah,
you dreamed it up. That'll be a terrible hit.
That's my next comic book. Yeah.
Ooh, story ideas. Have you guys been still writing stuff?
We going down that train?
We need to acknowledge what just happened the past like 12 minutes. That was just utter chaos.
Yeah,
that was
wow.
See, sometimes you need to embrace the chaos, though.
You do.
It's true.
You gotta slog through it.
Remember
to get to the meat of the meal.
Remember, the dynamic has been different since I've been gone. So interjecting like this beautiful embodiment of comedy into your
you can't add comedy to like this like unit without it exploding.
Holding your fist. This unit.
I mean,
like when I make a joke to what you're saying, you just do like a.
It's like a sound effect.
Yeah.
What is your response, Phil?
You're like that dude from
Police Academy.
Police Academy, yeah.
I've never seen that.
Well, there's a guy who literally his whole shtick is he makes sound effects to scare people off.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
He'll make like siren sounds that sound really accurate, and then people are like, "Frick, the cops are here!" And he's just
so there's
literally just sitting in a bush, and he's like, "Woo, woo, woo."
Yeah. So there's like a scene at the end of the movie where he's trapped in a cop car, and there's a bunch of people because there's like a riot that starts, and they're like shaking the car, and so he like ducks down and he pulls out the headset or the handset for the megaphone on top of the car, and he just starts doing like
he makes a really realistic gun
and everyone's
sounds,
like, "Oh frick!" and they start like running, and he like runs out to escape. But
that's hilarious.
It's a great movie.
That was the 80s.
That was the 80s.
That was the 80s.
Thanks for joining us on our 80s podcast corner.
Welcome to the 80s podcast.
Wow, that's your embodiment of the 80s, huh? Oh my goodness.
So I have a funny story.
I'm so happy to be back. I'm sorry.
Good.
My face is sweaty.
I am all sweaty everywhere. I'm
not gonna share how sweaty I am.
We went on a hardcore.
It's my body, my rules.
Hashtag no.
Hashtag safety square.
What is happening?
You don't know that? You don't know that?
Hashtag Randy, baby.
That's like the stop. Don't touch me. There. This is my safety square.
You've never I remember from that in middle school was like this weird video where it was showing us about like predators or something. And
like
the only
the predator
scene,
alien.
The only scene I remember is a kid like playing in a park, like, And this dude in a trench coat walks up and goes, "Hey, little boy," and opens his jacket. I don't remember why. I don't remember any of the context. All I remember is that was the joke for the rest of middle school, because that was all anybody could remember. Was like, "Hey, little boy."
What was
"Hey,
in the
little
jacket?
boy." Nothing. It didn't show what was in it. It was like some video about what to avoid, like stranger danger.
Maybe it was the door to a parallel universe.
Maybe he was just trying to sell toys. I don't know. What's wrong with selling toys
with cocaine in them?
What's wrong with an adult selling toys out of a jacket at a playground?
If he's
good
doing
question.
it, if he's doing it nude,
If he's doing it with white privilege,
Nude or clothed? What's wrong with
white
that?
privilege, man. It's
he's
a
white
side-
privilege, man.
it's a
He can
side
do what he
business.
wants.
I sell toys while naked to children.
Sir, you can't do that. White privilege, man. Oh, sorry.
Oh, that's terrible.
So have we sufficiently addressed the email?
Yes.
Or should we not have given it credence at all?
He's wrong.
Yep.
That's okay. He's
He has a
entitled
right
to
to
that
his
opinion.
individual opinion.
I
yes.
just hope that he can sleep at night.
Yeah.
all
I
I
hope,
have to
I
say.
hope he finds his way back.
And when
Yeah.
the boss from Culver's comes knocking on your door saying that, hey, I got free burgers from here, you better take them, or you're just turning down a blessing. That's really what you're doing. So
I don't know how that scenario
that was
worked.
unnecessary.
Okay, funny story.
I'm just
This is
defending Mr. Culver's.
this is
Mr. Cole. Hello, my name is Mr. Bob Culver.
No,
This-
the guy in the commercial that's like fresh. I said, he's like fresh ground beef made straight from Wisconsin farms.
I don't think I've seen a commercial in like 10 years.
yeah.
I don't watch it.
That's
Long
true.
time.
That's true.
I watch it.
No, you're right. Except on YouTube.
Yeah,
I hate the
YouTube has too many
commercials.
I use
commercials.
ad block.
Yeah.
There's
No, you
literally
gotta
like
support
one. There's like a
creators
week.
by
What?
skipping them. Oops.
There was a
Uh-oh.
week where it was like just Fortnite commercials, and I couldn't take it anymore. Like, I get it, kids love Fortnite. I actually heard that I work at Collectivo coffee shop, and totally was like delivering orders to someone, and I hear a kid be like, "Do you know Fortnite?" I just grimaced.
You're like,
Again. Do you know Fortnite?
What sound? Let's take this apart for a second. What sound does that entail? What does that entail?
you
expressing-
grumbling at a child.
It's not grumbling. I'm snorting at a child.
Hey,
Do you like Fortnite?
Hey kid, look at this.
This is so weird.
This is stupid.
It feels good to be
Stupid.
back.
It does. Anyway, I have a funny story that's only going to make things 10 times
Even
worse.
worse, yeah.
Even worse. So next to where I work, I don't know why they've had this there the past like couple
Teeny
weeks.
weeny.
There,
Don't
There-
spoil it.
there are. I kid
Just a
you not.
foretaste.
Stop. I want to hear the story.
Teeny weeny.
You can't say that.
Stop. I
You
want to
can't
hear
say
it.
that. All right,
Share the story.
I'm dying.
we'll come back to that.
We'll come back to
It'll bring it.
and back to you.
It'll bring itself full circle.
I'll probably make a noise afterwards.
I know.
You're gonna go.
That's even worse than based on the context.
Oh no. Is there gonna warning to young listeners? Some innuendo is about to
Okay.
be said.
Yep.
It's already been said.
Retroactively.
We've tackled everything. We've tackled Taco Bell, cultural appropriation, white privilege. Now we're
Teeny
going on
weeny.
teeny weenies,
Teeny weeny.
predator danger.
Yeah,
It's
predator
danger.
danger.
We're all over the board. Anyway,
Danger squares.
the last couple weeks at the business next to where I work, there are, I kid you not, 4 giant Oscar Mayer Wienermobiles, like the full hot dog, like giant truck, and 4 Planters Nuts trucks.
Are they,
know
are
they're
they like,
peanuts.
positioned properly?
That was on
No.
purpose. You know
No.
that was on purpose.
No, it wasn't.
No, Oscar Mayer was like, "Hey, park these weenies in front of the
All right, some dude was passing by. He's like, dude, there's 4 peanut trucks there. Like, let's go back and get the wiener trucks.
Because you know they're gonna be like, dude, hey, like it's a euphemism for penises. Let's go get some food.
Hey, wiener trucks. Let's get McDonald's.
I know, and there's a McDonald's right across the street.
Okay.
So, no, I
They're
laughed.
competing.
I
Your
just
wiener's
laughed.
bigger than our wieners are bigger than yours, McDonald's.
Well, we've got the Big Mac.
We have the big weenie with Planters nuts.
Big, large, properly positioned Planters Nuts.
Trademark by this. Trademarks.
Oh, I'm sweating so
Okay.
But yeah, it was
Okay.
I kid you not, there were like a
Randy,
bunch of
baby.
Oscar Mayer Wiener cars and then Planters peanut trucks.
How long were they parked there for?
Like all day. I almost took a photo to send to you guys, and if
You
they
really
bring
should
it-
have taken a photo.
I was.
Were they
I
selling
wanted
I feel
to.
like it's kind of a
Yeah, it was like a cookout for like the business next door. Yeah. So it just was like
So their delivery trucks are hot dog shaped trucks.
That
I have to wonder. Yes, exactly.
that's always been their thing. Is
right.
like
Which
hot
it's like
shaped trucks.
hot dog by itself out of context. It's fine
But with nuts.
with nuts,
What did the Planters peanut
Suspect.
truck look like?
like a giant peanut.
See, I didn't know they had giant peanut
They had
cars.
giant peanut trucks.
I've learned something new today.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
So
mean, what
anyway,
else are you gonna make a peanut truck company car look like?
I just was
Just
laughing
a car,
so
I don't
hard.
know.
Just a little like a Camaro, just like a peanut sticker on it.
Yo, want some cool nuts?
Like,
Hey,
it's like a
kids.
Camaro. Yeah, this like peanut mascot hops out with like.
See, that's what the guy was selling. That's what he was selling.
He was selling
What?
peanuts
He's-
and hot dogs.
Peanuts and hot dogs.
That's it, yeah.
Jeez.
I don't know what you were trying to go with. That.
Anyway,
that's
what
not-
I was curious with is, I mean, we've been cursed with the last name for all our life.
Oh,
of,
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so I was like, did they just embrace it? And they said, you know what, Jim? We're going to get the Oscar Mayer and we're going to get the nuts and it's going to be okay.
We are a weenie company after all.
I would just love the like press conference of like, ladies and gentlemen, there will be an Oscar Mayer wiener truck.
Why is it Barack Obama? My fellow Americans. My fellow Americans. We have brought you Oscar Mayer wieners and peanuts today. Is not a euphemism. Is not innuendo.
Please
Anyone who
ignore-
laughs is not American.
Please ignore the obvious implications.
Please ignore the obvious implications. This is weenie trucks and peanut trucks. All there is to it. God bless America. Thank you.
Come get your.
Oh, I wish I was Oscar Mayer wiener. If I was an Oscar Mayer wiener, everybody would love me. Thank you.
The pauses are impeccable on that one.
Now come get your American-made wieners
And
and
your
nuts.
peanuts. And once again, not a euphemism. If you laugh, you are a communist. Enemy of the state. Thank you.
Thank you.
God bless America.
God bless America.
God bless America.
God bless America.
That was like if another guy that was running, that was like standing behind him the whole time, just grabbed the microphone, was like, God bless America. Just like-
And God bless America.
God bless America.
So,
Yeah.
speaking of
White
wieners,
privilege.
nuts, and
Oh.
Obama, any other funny stories?
Nice. Nice.
I think that's it.
That's it.
There's a few on here
That's all
that
you got?
are like feel goody, and that's just
Feel
not where
goody?
we're going.
Yeah, we're not going for feel good.
We're not
We did
going
get
for
a
feel
shout
good.
out from the Imperious Rex dudes on their newest
Hey.
episode.
Return shout out. I don't know if they want to associate with us anymore after the
Yeah,
whole intro
we're
of
vile,
this. So
disgusting human beings.
Wait,
We
what did
understand.
you do?
what?
What did you do?
The last 22 minutes of this episode.
Oh, I thought you meant like you did. I thought you were saying like shout out to Imperious Rex, but they're not going to want to talk to us anymore because we like,
You know.
you know,
we shunned
the
them, yeah.
incident.
The incident. So yeah, they gave us a shout.
Yeah.
Well, they
Cool.
gave me a shout, but then they shouted the podcast.
And then by transference, us a shout out.
no, it was just me.
So they shouted me out too.
No, it was just me.
I like to party.
They didn't shout me. Well,
No, I like to
no,
party.
I
like
like
to
to
party.
Zach's the party guy.
everyone knows I'm the party guy. Huh, sweet.
Zach's the party guy and me.
That's cool.
Anyway.
Anywho,
So
let's meet up sometime, Imperious Rex.
Imperious Rex.
See, you couldn't
This is
even- you
why.
couldn't even
This
just
is
be
what
like-
you do. This is what
This-
happens.
You're just a sound
this is
effects
what
guy.
I do. I'm the sound effects guy.
You don't have a soundboard. You just
I just
regurgitate whatever.
so what have you guys been up to the past couple weeks?
Oh,
Great
Pop
question.
culture update. It's been a long time.
especially
Great
for
question.
me.
We should probably keep it quick since we already blew through 20 plus minutes.
Nah.
Nah, we're fine.
Nah.
It is what it
I'm
is.
sweating over here. So.
I am. It's
Mine
hot.
too. It
That's
is
like
hot
the
day.
10th.
It is like
I'm gonna keep
80
referencing that, but
Yeah, it's like
Phil
85
is
degrees outside.
still Randy.
I'm
Still hot and sweaty, baby.
Yeah. Randy.
oh, this is gonna be one for the centuries. So you want to start out?
Yes.
Why not me?
You can. Fine.
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 You want to start? You
Yeah,
start.
yeah. I'm the star
You-
of
you
the
start.
show.
You're the star.
I should get my
The
spot.
prodigal son returns
Wow.
to shine his light on us.
No, the prodigal son was like the bad kid.
Yeah, but he got redeemed.
But
I
he got
spent all my money
forgiveness.
gambling. I'm like, guys, can I be on your show one more time?
And we embraced you with open arms and gave you our cloak and
We gave you our love
killed
and
the fattest
affection.
calf.
Could you imagine me like at the horse tracks with like a fedora? I'm like, come on, yeah.
It would only be funny if you had the fedora, though.
And then it's like, I bet it all on Wheat Biscuit. Wheat Biscuit let
I was
me
gonna say
down.
Wheat Biscuit.
Wheat biscuit.
I bet it all on Flying Saucer.
I bet it all on Diabetic Horse.
Someone didn't give him his insulin shot, so he lost the race.
No, I just was thinking that would actually be the horse's name.
No, his name is Diabetic Horse.
Yeah. There's some weird horse
I
names
know,
out
that's
there.
what I just was imagining. Like, and what did we say? It was like something wheat.
Wheat biscuit,
Wheat biscuit.
Joy
It's like
Star,
Wheat Biscuit,
Diabetic
Joy Star,
Horse.
Flying Saucer, Diabetic Horse. No, and do you know what'd be funny is if Diabetic Horse is just the most normal looking horse.
We have a flying saucer takes out in front. Giant Wheat Biscuit flies into
Diabetic Horse,
Yeah,
falling
there's-
back,
There's
falling
Flying
behind.
Saucer coming in, and Diabetic Horse is actually pulling through. No one expected
Oh,
this.
no, he's tumbling. Somebody did not give him his insulin today.
That blood sugar is low on Diabetic Horse, but here comes
Blood
Flying
sugar low on
Saucer out of nowhere.
Blood sugar's low, but then the Wheat Biscuit did actually pull it through. Oh my, he looks delicious. Oh, the Flying Saucer is
He looks delicious. They don't eat the horses.
Swedish. It's a Swedish
Did you
horse
say
race.
it's a Swedish term?
It's a Swedish horse race.
Swedish horse race.
Horses that lose get.
Sorry to all the Swedes out there.
Yes, I'm sorry.
That's hilarious.
Especially PewDiePie.
So how's your
Pureness.
quick life update
Man,
/ pop culture?
pop culture. I'll
goodness.
give like a pop culture update. I have done so much stuff. I've done so much stuff recently. I watched a lot of shows, specifically anime shows, because that's what I'm known for.
Classic.
I gotta keep my title of the anime aficionado.
True.
If that's not really a worthy title, but
No, it
you
is.
No, it is.
Very much is.
know. Okay.
Yeah.
Of us three, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, of us three.
Chris
Definitely.
might rival you. He's number 2.
He's watched a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But I've read. But I've read.
The first of the show.
I've read more manga than he.
manga.
Well, no, maybe he's read more than me. I don't know. He's watched. I saw his list though. I was like, dang. What's some big things recently? One thing I will give a quick shout out to. I'll do like 3. I'll limit it to like 4, just because.
Oh, 3. I'll limit
3,
it to
4,
Yeah, 5. Okay.
5.
Oh, 5.
I'm
5.
taking over the show now. Okay, so one big one. I had a really interesting time rewatching Fooly Cooly, the anime. If you've heard of
Is
that
that what
before.
FLCL is?
Yeah, that's what FLCL is.
I saw you tweet about it once, and I had to look it up because I was like,
Yeah.
"What is that?"
So I watched it. This was like I think I'd said on the podcast before, like just a slight mention. I never joined the Tilt Brigade episodes for a reason, because I have no tilting opinions. I have some stuff. There are some things where like I can make an argument for it and it's not popular opinion, but I usually am just like, yeah, but I can see where that person is coming from. So I'm bad at tilting people.
Tomorrow's going to be fun.
That's the thing about
Yeah.
the tilt is you have to like do that, but you embrace the rage.
But I'm bad at I don't
like with the
embrace-
GameCube controller, I was like, I see your point, but no.
But you're wrong.
But you're wrong.
That's
you are
okay.
absolutely wrong.
That's okay.
But my one tilting opinion I had was that I was not a fan of Fooly Cooly, the anime show. And like I talked to a lot of people who were huge fans of that show, and they were like our friend Chris K from Milwaukee was like, how could you? He's very like, he has the total. How would you describe his voice? He's got like the, why would you not like Fooly Cooly?
He's like the most relaxed, chill.
Yes.
Like he has like a very soothing, like when you talk to him,
He's
it's just
very
like,
yeah.
hey.
He's like,
how's it
yeah, good
going?
to see you, man. How you doing? Yeah.
How you doing? You're like,
Like you just feel calmer
doing
when you're in
great.
his
Yeah.
presence.
yeah.
He said,
I'm doing
and he like
great.
works at a coffee shop. He plays guitar. It's like, and I talk anime with him all the time. So, and Fooly Cooly is one of his favorites. And I remember him being like, "How dare you, like not like that show." But I rewatched it. So originally I watched it with Japanese subtitles, and I think it's interesting because usually there are a lot of people out there that are like, quote unquote, like subtitle elitists of like, if it's not subbed, it's not the actual thing. So like anything else is inferior. Which I am strongly disagree with, because Fooly Cooly, I rewatched it in English and I enjoyed it like 10 times more
Interesting.
than I did the original one. And I think it's because Fooly Cooly inherently does not make sense. It is the most weird, random, crazy story. And I think and I think this is the interesting part, is that watching it with subtitles, I think it was harder to understand because you're reading all this stuff and like your brain is trying to process what you're seeing in front of you and the story and what you're reading, and that's just, I think that was almost too much. Whereas when I was watching the English dub version of it, the voice actors were amazing. Like the girl who played Haruko, who's like, I think that was like she had said her first like anime job, and she did such a what?
I just thought of Diabetic Horse.
We're not getting off Diabetic Horse.
Right. Sorry. Voice actors.
Yeah, voice actor. I forget I think Carrie Walgren, I think is her name. I think she started doing a bunch of other voices, but that was like one of her first gigs, and they did like an interview with her before they announced the new Fully Cooley season, and she was like, she loved doing the character because she said she enjoyed it so much and just like felt free to kind of do whatever, and she did a great job. She even like incorporated Japanese phrases in her language, like in English, but like made them flow really well, because like there's sometimes it's always like something desu haha kawaii, and it sounds like
very American.
You're like, oof, that's but she like will do little like like it for some reason it works really well, and I think that's really good skill for an anime voice actor, and everyone else in the show is good too. But because it was in English, and I was watching it a second time too, a lot of people had said it's only 6 episodes, so everyone's like, if you you got to rewatch it more than once to really appreciate it. And I did. I watched it a second time in English, and I was like, this is a really, really good show. So like a previous tilted opinion turned into, I'm just another sheep. I'm still a sheep. I still love whatever other people love. And then I watched the premiere of season 2, which has been like long in the works, and people were super psyched for it because it's been like, I think 17 years since.
Wow.
Yeah, Fully Cooley came out in 2001, I'm pretty sure. So this is a long time.
Dang.
And I think it still did pretty well. It's varied across the board, and that's going to happen no matter what, for whatever show.
Season 2.
Because people have some expectation. Because there's 2 different opinions. I saw one person who was this YouTuber named Aki Dearest. That's like, she had said Fully Cooley is her favorite anime of all time, and she loved the premiere of this one, and said that like they did such a great job with the symbolism and like referencing the old Fully Cooley but keeping true to its own thing. But then I saw another person's opinion who's also a fan of the show, said that like they just didn't do a good job with this or that and blah blah blah. So it's kind of across the board. But I'm in the boat of like, it's fun. It reminds me of the old Fully Cooley, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. Nice. It was fun, like coming in, like it was basically like back in the old days of like watching anime at midnight on Adult Swim.
Nice.
I was like, oh, this brings me back.
That's cool.
It's cool. It's kind of interesting to see. Like it's fun seeing Toonami is still like up and going, because it stopped for a while.
Yeah.
Toonami got shut down, but then now it's like it's got Hunter x Hunter dub, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I think it was running Space Dandy again.
It had Super too.
Fully Cooley.
Dragon Ball Super.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Super on there. So I'm glad to see that. It's like, it's an interesting thing to see that like we're kind of in a day and age where anime is becoming much more mainstream, which is cool to see, because I've been a fan of it. We've been fans of it ever since we found like a picture of us when we were like 5 years old, and we had like a Digimon compendium with all the Digimon stats and whatnot. So it's like, we were cool back in the day.
Yeah. But it's weird to think of it how much there's been a shift in what is like what is socially acceptable in pop culture.
Yeah.
And like
Anime is
like
definitely
comics
making
and
its
stuff
way up
and
there, yeah.
And anime's up there. Like now it's like, you don't watch anime? Like what's wrong with you? And it's or like, you haven't seen this thing? It's very interesting how it's shifted.
Well, and I even saw someone posted on Facebook about like Samurai Champloo, and it was funny because like a lot of old friends of mine were commenting, being like, "Oh, Samurai Champloo, that show was awesome. It was so good." And I was like, "Wait, people like watched that back in the day and liked it?" Oh, like I thought I was just the only one that was like,
that was on Adult
one of like
Swim
5 or
too,
6
right?
people. What
Was that on Adult Swim?
I think that was on Adult Swim. Yeah, that's
because I used to watch all those shows on Adult Swim. I didn't know what anime was at the time though. I just thought it was
because it's like hip hop and samurai.
I cannot recommend that show enough for
cool.
But yeah, that's another side thing. Am I doing okay? I feel
you're
bad.
good. You said you had 2 more shows that you're watching?
2, 3 more, 5 more, 6 more. The other, speaking of socially acceptable, I'll go into a little side tangent about. So I dipped my toes into uncharted territory. And watched like a high school girl band anime show.
A band? Like music?
It's like high school girls coming together to make a band.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Do tell.
Okay.
I'm
not judging yet, but
I will preface it this way. I mean, I've always had a semi-interest, but never to the point where it's like that's my favorite genre. Like, I still firmly believe shonen is like a really good, like My Hero Academia, One Piece. That's like my bread and butter. And then like seinen too, like 20th Century Boys and Monster and all that good stuff in Akira. So this like I said, uncharted territory. This is not stuff I usually watch. A while back, I met up with a guy from Japan, and this is more little side tangent on just like I've said before I want to be a missionary in Japan in the future, so it's not like a new concept. But he had made a passing remark that I found interesting because I had said that like, he's like, do you like the anime and the manga? I'm like, oh yeah, I'm a huge fan. He was like, you see, like they need more people like you. Like, the otaku, the nerd culture, like, I'm old. I like Gundam. I like Akira. I like all that stuff. He's like, but they like
old school Gundam.
Yeah, and I was like,
baby.
I'm like, that's still cool. But he's like, no, they like the little girls. They like the little anime. So I was like,
They like the little girls.
I was like, when he said that, I was like, I don't really watch that kind of stuff. Just like, but then I was like, maybe I could give it a shot. And then I think 2 days after that, I had watched like this like pop idol show that was really popular, and I was like, ugh. Just so sweet, it was disgusting. Like,
So sweet.
it was
disgusting.
it was like they're so perfect, they're so happy, they're so blah 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 that it's like
Just makes you mad.
it makes me mad. I'm like, it's okay, but and also this thing too is like there's so many characters that they throw at you in one episode, because it's like, pop idols are known for having like all these members that like someone can attach to, which is a cool idea. But for someone like me that's new to this, I was like, no, I do not like this. So there is a YouTuber called Digibro who does some pretty, he's kind of a mixed bag in the the quote unquote anime YouTuber community, because he gives very, very well detailed videos and opinions, but he's also really full of himself and kind of a little bit of a D-bag, I would say, because he kind of like he enforces this idea that like his way of doing things is the best way of analyzing stuff. Mm-hmm. And obviously everyone else is like, okay, this guy's just on his high horse, needs to get off. But he still delivers really good videos and does really good analysis. And he had said the show K-On! Is like what is his all-time favorite show. And this is a dude who likes, like other stuff I've seen, like Kill La Kill, Gurren Lagann. He likes those kind of shows. So I was like, okay, I guess I'll give it a shot. And I ended up really, really liking it. So it's very like, it's not, music isn't the main focus. It's part of it, but it's not the main focus. And I think that's why I like it, is because it's more slice of life is the term, where it's just like high school girls doing fun stuff. And I think what it is that what this show did that the other show didn't do is that they feel much more natural and they're well written. And the show realizes it's like a pop girl, like a girls forming a band show. So it doesn't take itself seriously. And it breaks a lot of the tropes, and like a lot of the funny jokes they have are just like,
is it like a Persona style where it's like they're living life, but there's something else going on, or is it literally?
No, it's literally just like they're living life,
okay.
Which is entertaining to.
Put your mic closer.
What?
Put your mic closer.
Pull my mic closer.
Yeah, you're not.
You're like, wait. So like, what do you think?
What the thing and the thing?
The thing with the band.
I can't really tell how loud I am in my headphones, so
you're good.
Cool.
Like a great example to think of is like they do their I think it's like the 4th episode, they have like their first show, and they do like a great job, obviously. And they actually have like a cool, well done music video and stuff like that goes along with it. And then like they, the show's over, everyone's clapping, and then it's all like, we did it, this is our first show. And then literally like the lead singer like trips on a amp cord and just falls face flat. And everyone's like, ooh. Ouch.
That's kind of interesting. Is there like an analog to that in like American culture?
I don't think so.
And I think we have like reality TV, but like this reality,
isn't really
like
that
fiction.
Yeah, it's like a reality fiction thing, but it's never a thing where there's a deep. Because I feel like with those kind of shows in America, there's always some deeper storyline to it. Where it's why it's fascinating to watch this, because it's like there is like the stringing line of like I think like the end goal is they want to perform at this big show or whatever.
It's more like regular life goals rather than like we're gonna save the universe.
Yeah, it's like these girls just starting a band. The main character's like, I want to learn how to play guitar and stuff like that. So and they start doing that. But it is interesting to think about that. I didn't think about that like there really isn't an equivalent in American media. Like there's always some deeper storyline. And I think that's why it's entertaining to watch, because it's like you don't really need to think, but the show doesn't want. It's not a thing of like the show wants you to think. It's just like just enjoy these girls, like having fun, getting coffee, character development, just doing fun stuff, funny jokes, blah blah blah. And it's just like kind of an I wouldn't even say mindless. It's just like it's just entertainment. not in its purest form. That's this is entertainment in its purest form. High school anime goes, doing a band is anime in its purest form.
Oh, that's great.
I'm Otaku Zach. Thanks for joining the podcast. that should be my, like, when I do an anime.
Yeah.
When I get really into
Otaku
it, like,
Zach.
Otaku Zach.
That young boy, Otaku Zach.
Don't call me by that name. Otaku is only referred to people from Japan. I'm kidding.
Oh, jeez.
So yeah, I watched that, found it entertaining. Still probably will keep watching it just because it's something that I think it is still a really popular show in Japan, even though it came out in like 2009. So that'll be something to talk about. Nice. Should I do like two? Do I have time for like? Oh, let's say real quick.
Well, to go. I would really like to hear what you thought of. I see you finally saw Black Panther.
Yes.
So I'm curious to see what you thought about it.
I'm trying to remember my opinions that I had on it. I really, really liked T'Challa, the Black Panther. I liked Killmonger. Everyone else was kind of.
In
if
what
that makes
way?
sense. So the world Wakanda itself, the world it built itself up to be was really, really cool. But there were some things. I think this is what I prefaced it as. It was a movie that had really, really good elements to it, but it was overshadowed. It was overshadowed by some stuff that I had some gripes with. But I still really liked it. But it was pretty good. That was my reaction to it.
Would you say your response to it was kind of like with some of the other heroes, it was like to the same response you'd have to some of the introductory first movies? So like Ant-Man 1, it's like, yeah, it was good. And Ant-Man and Wasp is probably going to be...
Yeah.
I'm not trying to equate them, but more just like, as in a way, it is kind of like an origin movie.
Yeah, but
not
when you
quite.
look at, if anything, even though people don't like Captain America, the first Avenger, I feel like it does a great job of establishing Captain America as a superhero. Mm-hmm. And I tell people all the time, Guardians of the Galaxy is still my favorite Marvel movie of all time because it is its own narrative outside of the whole MCU, and it's just like you get the whole package, an entertaining story, an introduction to everyone, and it feels natural. It's not forced. And I think there were elements to Black Panther that felt forced. Like one of the sequences I actually didn't like is when his sister's like showing him the new tech and stuff that she made. Like, it felt much more like a James Bond movie than it did a Marvel movie, if that makes sense. She was like, this suit will protect you from blah, blah, blah. And this, if you do this knife, it does like this cool thing. It's like, it's literally like, or in Get Smart or something like that, where it's like the tech guy showing like, you can do this with this thing. You can do this with that thing. Nice. And that just felt kind of like, and I remember one thing too was, the scene in South Korea when they're doing the chase and stuff. I was really excited for that, but it felt kind of flat, if that makes sense. It was like a car chase, and Black Panther jumping around. So, the one where the part when they're on the bridge and slicing stuff was really cool, and the action was really well choreographed. But like, it was kind of short lived, I feel like. And the one dude, who is the one British guy that like lost his arm? I thought they were going to do more with him. Do you know who I'm talking about? Claw.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to do more with him. Yeah. And I kind of had hoped that they would.
Right.
But they, I won't spoil it for people that haven't seen it, but they just didn't do as much as I'd hoped. And I really liked him in Age of Ultron, so I was kind of disappointed with that. I really, really, really liked Killmonger. Great Marvel villain. I'd say second after Thanos, in my opinion.
Dang.
Killmonger?
Yeah.
Interesting.
No other, Marvel villains are inherently not that good. That's why. But Killmonger actually had a very plausible story that made sense, that like fit in with why he's doing what he does, and also fits into the oppression that African American culture faces, which I really liked. That I will say that like a concern I had, and this isn't to like make a like a political statement. A concern I had was that the tie into African American culture was going to be really forced, but it played out really, really not. And that wasn't to be like, I don't want to see African American culture in this movie. It's like, it's more so there are some movies that try to do that and end up making it forced rather than making it feel natural. Whereas like Black Panther made it feel really natural. And I really liked that. That was like a huge highlight to the movie,
like
I would say.
An important part of the narrative in the movie.
Yeah, it felt very closely tied in there. Like
it made sense the way it played out.
Yeah, the whole beginning scene and stuff like that with the guy who was like a gangster, but then he's like actually Wakandan and stuff like that. Like really cool tie into that whole aspect of like, you know,
Yeah.
and it's an empowering movie too for like kids that, you know, want, you know, like an African American superhero, and he's a cool superhero. Like I loved his character in that movie.
Oh yeah.
One thing I would say is it's going to get into spoiler territory. I don't want to talk about it.
I mean, it's old enough that I think if you haven't seen it, especially after Infinity War, like
yeah. The part where Killmonger beats him, I really, really like that whole scene when Killmonger like beats him in the tournament and stuff and like kicks him down the waterfall. What I'd hoped they had did with the narrative, because the one aspect that I loved from the narrative was T'Challa going through this idea of what it means to be king. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a really, really, really cool narrative thing you can tackle. And they did, like when he has his first like astral plane dream with his father and he's like, I can never be a king like you. But then when he goes the second time, he realizes like his dad wasn't as great of a king as he was because he foresought his brother. It was his brother because it was his uncle.
Yep.
Stuff like that. And I think my problem was, instead of really going in depth with that, they'd spend more time with like the people reacting to like how bad Killmonger was and how much he was tearing apart Wakanda, which was good. You need that, but I think they could have balanced it out better of having, it would have been a cool contrast to see how much Killmonger was destroying and hurting, and then contrast that with T'Challa going in more in depth with like, how can I be king now that I've been defeated or been overthrown or whatever like that. And they didn't tackle that as much as I'd hoped.
That was the part I didn't like so much about it, was they kind of just like laid on their backs when Killmonger came. Like, oh, this is the process. No one really fought. This is the process. We should let this maniacal guy just be king.
No one fought until
like no one's
T'Challa came back.
Yeah.
Well, but I think that's something that you kind of, and not to use this as a defense that can't be pushed against. It's more just like, I think this is where my thought process went, is you clearly have like, I can't remember the name of the lead lady who was like the general or whatever. I can't remember her name, but
that part was
like, it was interesting, like her response where she's like, I know this is wrong, but I have a duty to the king.
Yeah.
But like, he is the king and I don't want to do this. And so there was a tension of, it wasn't just like, well, we're just going to do what he says, but I think that's what I really loved.
They did do a good job with that.
What I loved about Black Panther is, as a superhero, it's based in a culture.
Yes.
Like, I think that's what's really cool versus,
and that is
like,
a hard thing to do.
Yeah, exactly.
That is a hard thing to do.
And so I think that's what's interesting, pulling that aspect into how they did respond, is it's not just, in a way, it's interesting comparing that to like Civil War, for example, where it was a political issue. And it's like, well, we're just not going to do that. And it's like, well, we have to do that because it's the government. Yeah. Whereas for them, it's like, it's cultural. Like, you don't,
like, you honor who is
the authority. And so
I did like that aspect of the movie.
And so again,
they had to redefine an entirely different culture, whereas America is America.
This is America.
This is America. But anyway, so I was just curious to see what you thought of it. And I agree. Like, I honestly, fingers crossed, I really hope that after in Avengers 4, there's been rumor that they might start dipping into some of the current Marvel heroes. And I think it could be cool to have some of the current characters that are in it take over for the new people, if they would. You know, so like if Bucky becomes Cap, because I know that's a thing.
After the next movie,
if Iron Man like hands off his tech, and I've heard rumor that they might make T'Challa's sister Ironheart and do that. Like, I'd be super down with that, because that was the thing. Like, I don't know if
Tom Holland, Spidey back.
Yeah, and I think it was just an episode with you and I, Phil, that I talked about this, but I finished Invincible Iron Man, and it was
I heard you talk about that.
Yeah. And so like, that was one of those things where I feel like with how they've set up her character, it almost makes more sense how she could then be a part of.
She actually has the mind for it.
Exactly.
And she's connected to the Avengers.
Yes. And so she kind of has an in, and I feel like her as a character and how she came about would be really fun to watch. Because in a way,
she was a good character in the movie too.
Right. And that's in a weird way, like, she is kind of like Tony Stark. Like, she's snarky. She knows she's smarter than everybody. She's tech savvy. She's like totally on top of it and capable. I was like, I'd be down if she became Iron Man.
I'd see that.
So
cool.
I don't know if they're going to do that, but that was something where I was like, if they were going to take that swing and then kind of like hand off like characters to different people who are already existing in that would be pretty cool.
Speaking of superhero Marvel movies, Into the Multiverse, Spider-Man,
dude,
looks So
And especially because did you finish the Miles Morales run?
I did not finish the first book. I think I'm like near the very end of the first book. I love Miles. I've already talked about Miles Morales on the show, so I won't repeat that. What episode was that on? Do you remember?
Nah, whatever.
You can look it up. Figure it out. Google it. I love Miles Morales as a character, but like the animation,
It looks so
astounded me.
good.
I was like, the whole scene where he's in the city and it's like doing the comic stuff while he's like jumping off cars and like they're getting destroyed. That is how you do a animated superhero movie. Like
Yo.
Incredibles looked really good too. Actually, I can talk a little bit about Incredibles too, if you don't mind.
As long as you don't spoil it. 'Cause I haven't seen it.
Oh, you haven't seen it yet?
He hasn't seen it yet.
Yeah.
The only thing I'll say, that was an example of where animation-wise, it is crazy to see how much it's improved over the years.
Yeah.
Because still one of my favorite scenes is when Elastigirl fights the villain. I won't say who the villain is. There's a scene where like Elastigirl is trapped in this room and she fights the villain, and like the animation just like
It's crazy.
Like it already looks good, you know. But like this scene, there's all these flashing lights and all this stuff because he's like trying to, you know, blind her and incapacitate her. But it's like, did you notice that scene too? That whole thing in the light room or whatever in the cube. It gets knocked up to an 11 in terms of animation because it just like it looks almost comic style, and it's all this like the outlines and
but it's like very strong action and there's a lot of motion, and it was really,
it falls really well. That
done.
was like my favorite scene of the
fantastic.
whole movie. But that was a good movie. I won't get into spoiler territory for that because like the opinions, like I'd say all the positives, like I'd highly recommend it if you liked Incredibles because it's Incredibles too. Like definitely doesn't live up to the first, but that's very hard to do because the first one was such a pinnacle Pixar movie that it's very hard to live up to, you know, that title.
I do think the writing
kind of
genius, if you watch them back to back sequentially, it would just be like one giant movie.
Which is impressive.
I think
that is
that's
very impressive to
incredibly
come
impressive.
back after all these years.
Yeah.
I actually was kind of hoping that they'd be older. Like they do a storyline of like them older now, because I feel like that would just fall in line with like us that watched it when we were younger and almost be a full circle thing. But that's just a subjective opinion. But anyway, anything else? Oh, last big thing, video game wise, I've gotten hardcore into fighting games.
Darn right you did.
Yep. I never was a fan until I played, even when I played Dragon Ball FighterZ, it was like, it was okay, but I think it almost was too hectic is what I've realized. And then I picked up Skullgirls on my Vita, and it's so much fun. And I love the art style of that game too. It's like anime combined with like old school cartoon, which sounds weird, but it works super well with it. I played that, and then I played Street Fighter Alpha 2, got Street Fighter 5, and I'm on a roll. I main Sakura, for those that know the Street Fighter roster. But
Nice.
super
Nice.
fun. It is fun being, like, I kind of want to be a part of, like, I want to meet more people that play Street Fighter and stuff, because, like, I talked with my boss at work, and he loves Street Fighter and uses Chun-Li, and I was saying, like, yeah, I use Sakura, and he was like, you would use Sakura. I was like, what? And I was like, it's because she's like a high school girl with this high school anime girl with the Ryu fist, and he was like, no, he's like, it's not an offense. I don't mean that offensively. He's like, it's just a state of being. Like when you know someone's a Sakura player, that's just who they are. It's great that I was like, all right, I'll take that.
It's like you're a diva main, aren't you?
Hanzo, more like
you
Hanzo.
main.
Speaking of which,
Yeah, the new Overwatch character.
I'm not a fan.
I was very disappointed.
I thought that was a joke when I first saw
I did
it.
too. I was like, what the
like,
frick is this?
Someone who made a really good comment, Aaron Hansen from Game Grumps, said that like out of all the Overwatch characters, his design is the most boring, which I
Yeah.
highly agree with.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think it's the color scheme is a big part of it.
Well, and
Because he's like,
it just feels. I hate using this phrase because I don't think it's true, and everything takes work inherently to make it and all that stuff. So it's not.
no, but
It's so bland and lazy.
Yes.
Like he's bashed.
It's
He's a hamster ball.
It's a hamster
With
and
guns,
a giant
that's it.
ball. Yeah. Think of all the other characters. Like Hanzo is a ninja with this like arrow thing. Genji's a cybernetic
ninja. Like
Even
Lucio
more, like,
runs around
Doomfist
with DJ.
is
Yeah.
a like tribal African guy with a giant fist. Like, yeah, Diva's a giant, like rides a giant mech. Tracer has a time thing that it's like all these things, and then it's like, and here's a hamster in a giant hamster ball with guns.
Yeah, I was incredibly disappointed.
Yeah.
And he just looks like a faster Bastion. Like that's the vibe I get. And I'm sure he'll play different and all that stuff, but
it's like I'll try him out, but it is weird that it's like this is the first Overwatch here where I was like,
Really, guys?
With every other Overwatch hero, I've always been like, oh, that looks kind of cool. I remember Doomfist. I was like, which is ironic because like I'm the worst with Doomfist, but every other character I was like excited for and thought looked cool. But he was the first one where I was like, oh, that's cool.
That's interesting.
Yeah, which is funny because like they have all those like, you know, they've shown videos of like the lore and like the profiles of all these other heroes. They have so many like, and I think this is the interesting thing is like it's not that they're like lacking design and like, oh, we had to think of something so we did a hamster and a ball, because they've shown concept art and stuff that's like they have many creative cool people that they've obviously thought of before but then didn't implement. So it's like
yeah. I think I was just genuinely confused as to why out of all the classes they could have done, out of all the designs, especially when you've had some really cool character, like Moira has been pretty cool. Sombra was a post-release character. Doomfist. Who else am I missing?
Ana,
like
Orisa.
Yeah,
every other character that's come out has been really, and like even the characters that were there before, like every character's been interesting and cool, and just had such a unique flavor to them. That's why I think Overwatch is so popular in the first place, is because like people just latch to a certain character because they like, kind of like with Street Fighter, is like some characters are just so different in terms of play style and just aesthetic too. That's a huge part of a game is aesthetic. I was watching a video from Video Game Donkey and he was talking about Lawbreakers and was saying that it was a really fun game, but he said it's hard. He said it's almost hard to play because basically all the characters are quote unquote different, but they look the same. We were saying when you play Overwatch, it's easy and more fun because characters are so distinguishable and
like you have a giant monkey, you have a talking robot,
giant monkey in a spacesuit, you have a British lady with a time skipper device, you have a dude with burning, singeing hair that shoots like a grenade launcher,
giant pig man,
giant dude with a skull mask and shotguns.
Pigman, Jerry, it's a pigman. Anyway,
so
I was like,
yeah, it was alright. It was average. It was definitely subpar compared to all the other stuff that they put out for Overwatch. So I have not been playing Overwatch recently.
I need to get back into it. I've been working on all these other side projects for people that I just haven't had time. But
like I said, I got hardcore into Street Fighter, so that's where my time is going.
Yeah, I picked up Hollow Knight. I've got that. Dude, that game is friggin' hard, but it's
so hard.
It's so cool. It's just such a cool game.
It is one of the best games setting wise in my opinion. Like recent games.
Yeah, 100%.
The setting is super cool.
Definitely. Trying to think.
Sorry, my chair's
cool. No, mine is too. It's that old school chair. I'll run with it. We're almost at the hour mark, so I don't know if we'll get to you talking E3. Maybe we'll save that for...
I mean, I don't have too much to say, honestly.
Okay.
I can give like a brief recap.
So we can just do you, me, and then
I'll
E3.
be quick with mine then. On the music front, I found...
music.
His...
Father John Misty. Recommend him to anyone.
His new album.
Really Father John Misty? Oh,
God's favorite customer.
I literally, Disappointed Diamonds are the rarest of them all. That just popped up in a playlist, and I was like, ooh, that is really good.
What genre?
His comedy.
Pure comedy.
Pure comedy is good. That's a solid album.
Just a really, really good music artist.
It's like folk, but just
like with a tinge of, but he like is kind of across the board with his albums. That's why it's really cool.
It's
like
very like artistic.
Yeah. Pure comedy is very.
He's very
like,
satirical
folkish.
with his lyrical themes, and like he pokes fun at like
society
pop culture
and pop
society, and like he gets a little bit trippy sometimes with his lyrical themes. It's interesting.
I would say someone put it really well because like Pure Comedy and God's Favorite Customer. I like God's Favorite Customer a little bit more just because of the vibe it gives. Someone had said it this way: is that Pure Comedy is like a dude sitting down just playing the guitar, telling a story, like playing a folk song in a wherever, and then God's Favorite Customer is like a smoky bar, like late night bar music is kind of the vibe it gives, which I definitely agree with. Cool. Super good album. God's Favorite Customer, Father John Misty. You know what I've really gotten into is Biggie Smalls. Notorious Big.
Notorious Big, baby.
I've been getting into old school rap, and he is definitely getting up there. I've always loved Mos Def. He's been one of my all-time favorites, but I was listening to his albums during work because I work in the kitchen, so you can just play music. Love his style. He's like, old school rap I just love to death because it's got such low-key beats, and especially, Biggie Smalls has like that vibe to his stuff. Cool. Especially Juicy. This great song.
I have been listening to I can't remember his last name. It's Clayton something, but he has 3 different projects called Cell Dweller, Scandroid, and what's the other? Circle of Dust. And so he's like a stupid genius synthwave electronic like dubstep metal artist. So each of those is a different thing. So if you kind of like techno-y synth, like modern but with like a tinge of rock, check out Cell Dweller. If you like hardcore, almost like more metal-ish tinge, check out Circle of Dust. If you like 80s synthwave, Scandroid. He does a cover of Shout by Tears for Fears with like 80s synthwave.
Ooh, that sounds good.
It's so good. It's like
little vaporwave.
It's like writing music.
Macintosh.
It's like writing music for a sci-fi story.
Do you know
It's
that
awesome.
song? The one that's like it's like very
I don't know
vaporwave. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
uncultured swine.
that's anyway. Anyway,
It's like that's how a pirate says yo whore. You whore.
yeah.
Yes.
So if you're down for some like techno-y music and need some
Get some pirate dubstep in there.
some tight beats behind you.
Some Sharkman Frank.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Freaking Sharkman Frank, baby.
Was that
my
pirate
goodness.
dude?
Yeah.
That Busco
first
found or
heard of
something?
them
Or
from.
did you find
No,
it?
I found the Game Grumps did an episode and they were they have a side. One of the guys is part of a side band called Ninja Sex Party. They're like a comedy band. And he had said that like they went to a record store and they found this like record which is like MS Paint Pirate Treasure in the back, and this dude just like hardcore pirate looking guy, and his name was Sharkman Frank, and he had these like pirate shanties basically.
Solid album.
I'll probably play that as the opening intro clip.
Let's go.
No, but we want. Nah, we could do that.
We'll figure
I
it out.
know a treasure more precious than gold. It comes from ye heavens, or so I've been told. What? Oh, diamonds, doubloons, or Mercedes Benz. Not even the ocean is greater than friends. It's the most beautiful song ever. Oh god,
It's a tearjerker for
Tearjerker,
Sharkman
yeah.
Frank. Pop culture front. Let's see here. I've been playing some A Creed Origins. I mentioned that last week.
Assassin's Creed.
It's good, dude.
Dude, the new Greek one.
Push on.
Odyssey's looking great, man. I'm excited.
They still do trailing missions.
No.
They're adding more.
Well,
they're actually adding more RPG elements. Even
So
than
it actually
Origins.
Sorry, my
affects the
bottom
story.
is quite sore.
That's okay.
My bottom's quite sweaty.
Randy.
Don't say his
Sweaty
butt.
bottom.
Don't say his
My
butt is
bottom
Randy.
is
Sweaty bottom.
red.
That is gross.
DJ, they call me DJ Sweaty Bottom.
That's what a British
Sweaty
guy would name his
bottoms.
cat. Come here, sweaty bottoms.
Oh, you're so sweaty, sweaty
Oh,
bottom.
that is disgusting. That's the guy with the trench coat we were talking about.
Uh-oh. Hello,
Come here, kids. Sweaty bottoms. Sweaty bottoms for all.
You have to kind of like
Say
mush
hello
it
to
together,
Sweaty
though.
Bottoms, children.
bottoms.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, so yeah, dude, Assassin's Creed's been good. And then Odyssey, I was reading that they're actually putting narrative elements in that it, depending on your decisions, it actually has like drastic consequences and like
That
what can
role-playing.
happen. So it's actually legit. Like one example was you could rescue a guy. Like Socrates asked you to rescue a guy, and he says just kill him, but you can actually choose to rescue him, or you can just leave him. But there's a story. It's Bill from Bill and Ted's.
Okay, thank
Yeah, I was
you.
on
We
the
were on
same-
the same
I was
wavelength.
on the same page.
Like in Socrates, like
Socrates, bro.
dust in the wind.
Yeah. But there's a mission later, depending on what you do. And so the guy who was playing the demo actually saved him. And there's a big story mission later where you like fight this war and you save this monarch, whatever. And he's giving some speech talking about the victory. And the guy you saved actually comes up and murders him. And so because it turns out that guy was like a rebel, and that was the reason he got arrested anyway. But he was also a key factor in the people that this head leader was trying to win the war with, that you're helping. And so Socrates is Socrates. Trying to mix both of them. Try to have my cake and eat it too. Socrates says, just kill him because he's a loose cannon. but he's also valuable, so you can choose to save him, or you can just like leave him and just keep going. So this guy saves him and then ends up killing his own.
Sounds
like,
dope.
I don't know
wow,
if the
actually-
greatest philosophizer of your time says that he's
just
a loose
just kill
cannon.
him. Just that's
I would-
that's verbatim. He's like with his cigarette too. He's like, listen, Alexander.
So
Wait, that doesn't actually happen, does it?
No, not
Okay.
that. No, I was being.
I was gonna say, I don't think there were
I think
cigarettes.
no. He was playing off
I was
the fact
joking.
that
I was
said-
joking. Like, yeah,
The
you would
verbiage I used was just like, just
kill him.
kill him.
Just
I was
kill
saying
him.
if like the greatest philosophizer, if he puts on like an eye patch and they call him Big Boss, like Metal Gear Solid.
Snake.
Socrates is the weapon to surpass Metal Gear.
Interesting. So anyway, so it's been really good, and I've been playing Assassin's Creed Origins. Very good, actually stealth game, action packed.
Okay.
It's
Action
good.
packed.
Action packed.
I've just never been. I think it was because 3 ruined it for me.
Yeah, 3 was rough.
I played 2, like which everyone says is like the best one, and it was average for me.
I
in
feel
my
like they're
opinion.
drastically changing the
Yes.
actual model of the game.
If
now.
you
Yeah.
thought 2 was good, this one is and
But I didn't think 2
relative.
was
But that's what I mean. It's like if you relatively enjoyed 2, I would say Origins is much like you can actually play it as an action open world stealth game.
Okay.
Like I would say it would probably play closer to Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yeah.
And just that it's open world, it's stealth, you can play it more action
Yeah.
pace, but it's
I'm
like
sad.
there's things
Yeah,
you can
I'm sad
level up.
about this. Well, like I'm not a huge fan of the Egyptian setting, and I mean like the,
I wasn't either, but as soon as I got into it, the main guy that you play as,
Yeah.
Bayek, is really cool. I actually really like him,
Yeah.
and the Egyptian setting grew on me more as
Yeah.
I think it's like there's a lot of like lore, and I feel like it's more tied to the idea of like gods and ruins and cultural like things that
Yeah.
actually drive
which is I know that's
certain narrative elements.
That's why I'm always skeptical, is because like that's what I love. When I remember when I first, because Assassin's Creed 3 was like one of the first M games I ever got to play. I remember like being excited because that one was doing a really good job of establishing like the Indian blood Connor had and like his origin with that, which was cool. But then he grows up and he's just the most bland, boring, stupid character ever written.
I'm looking for my dad.
Yeah, you killed my father.
Yeah, it was basically.
But now we are friends.
that's
That's literally.
It
Kid
was-
you not?
yeah.
This game is old. No one cares about it anymore. Literally,
bad.
the whole plot is like it's interesting at first because he's like basically his whole task is like assassinating these like corrupt politicians because like Declaration of Independence happened, like America's just starting, and he's tasked with killing these politicians and getting up to the top. Where his dad's like some admiral or general that like slept with an Indian woman and like just kind of stranded them.
and
he
also,
wants-
I think was the
also-
reason his village
yeah,
got
his
burned
village
down
got burned
too.
down. So like cool origin, but then like for some reason I don't remember what it was, but for some reason they just end up becoming friends. Like they just
He has to help him for something, and it just kind of got all of a sudden. It's like, wait, so you're not going to kill him like you were planning
but
to do
he
the first 10 hours of the game,
but
he like
destroyed
your
everything he
family and-
loved. And, yeah, it was dumb.
It didn't make a lot of sense. Anyway, Assassin's Creed Origins, really good. Still excited for Odyssey. I said that last week. I'm hoping to actually this weekend put a little time into Battle Chasers Night War. I've been really enjoying
Battle
that.
Chasers
I think
Night
you'd actually
War.
really like it. Just
Okay.
with the turn-based combat, but it's a little more active. It's very interesting. Like it's very simplistic for a turn-based RPG.
Yeah.
But I actually really like that. Like it feels more grounded in something I can kind of gauge how far I'm getting into, and there's a little more restraint on like random encounters and stuff like that.
I do appreciate that.
Which it's like there's still encounters that you're like, okay, I'm gonna fight these people and whatever, but it doesn't. You actually like see the enemies in the real world, and then they trigger a battle with you. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like one of those, and it's good. It's very good. I
Yeah.
really enjoy it, and the characters are kind of interesting, and it's based on a comic too. So
Yeah.
I'll keep going because I know we're all like sore and tired, and the caffeine's wearing off.
Yeah, no, Phil, you went from like just busting out random noises to like dead
like dead
silence.
silence.
listening silently.
Also, this will be the last thing. This is the biggest thing. Is I did read Batman Court of Owls, and let me just say that is what a superhero comic should be. That was really good. Like there's a
Did you read
specific,
Court and City?
I have City with me,
Okay.
so I might.
I don't
try
think
and
I've read
that.
City either. Yet.
But Court was just like, yes, this not only was the narrative really interesting, and it just felt like Batman and Bruce Wayne had a definitive character, and like how he approaches the idea of the Court of Owls, and he's like, it's just a myth, and I know it's a myth because I looked into it and it's not true, and all this stuff. And there's like literally a point where they catch him and they capture him and they put him in this like chamber thing that he basically like starts turning him insane because he keeps going through the same room.
That whole
and
sequence is awesome.
It's awesome.
I
And
love
so there's like
any
this
story.
whole,
Any story that does a good job of establishing insanity is like.
and literally
is
Batman
A-okay,
starts
in my
going through this like psychological breakdown because he keeps going into the same room and like there's a room where it
little,
always
PT
takes
action.
No, but like there's an awesome page or a couple panels that in sequence where he like keeps walking to this one room where it takes a photo every time he walks in, and the wall like in the entire room is just rows of people of like that were also in there where it's like their first photo where they kind of look like normal and they're scared, and it's like slowly their face getting older and more decrepit but still having that face, and his already has 3 photos on the wall, and then it's like so because he's been walking around.
That was a little hard to follow, but
well, so like so
it's
it's like all these people who have like been in that the Court of Owls have put in and like made go crazy, and so just the brilliance of having this one panel where it shows that there's 3 photos of Batman on the wall, like with him looking more normal, with more like a little deranged, then a little bit more deranged, then his current state, and it snaps another photo, and so it's just like him descending more into madness, and then there's a part where the page you actually have to like flip it upside down and read it backwards because it's like he goes into one thing and it
brilliant.
Yeah, it was like actually using the comic as a tool to show that it's crazy.
I think I'd said that on another podcast already. That was the words of a really good YouTuber that I've already gave a shout out to, Super Eye Patch Wolf. A great manga or a great story. He was talking about manga specifically. Like a great manga or anime will give you a great story with great characters, blah, blah, blah. A fantastic manga or anime or story comic will utilize the medium that it's a part of to its fullest extent in innovative ways. Not just like, I did this weird thing where it's, like manipulating the pages and the panels and just all these things can just, you can make really, really cool stuff out of that. So,
so it's really, really, really good. Highly recommend.
Dope.
No E3.
My butt hurts.
You're not gonna share E3 highlight? Oh, you shared your whole.
We had that last week.
So I'll do my thing.
Man, I missed that.
It just went up. So.
Yeah. I broke my hiatus for the summer on video games for only one game, which is God of War. And
consensus.
Come here, boy.
It's gonna be in my top 5 probably.
Really?
It's phenomenal.
Boy.
I think, like tomorrow my tilting opinion is gonna be there's too many open world games, but I think like this one uses the world really well, and I really love the Norse setting.
I've heard that's really good. I had a friend who played it and said that was like the highlight of it.
I feel like in 4K this will be the best looking game out now. Out right now.
Nice.
If it was in 4K. I mean, even in 1080p, I was just like watching it and I'm like, how is this a video game? Like, what the heck? Is, like the seamlessness between cutscenes and actual gameplay and like just the combat is so airtight. Like, just getting to chuck the freaking axe and then it freezes your enemy and just pulling it back, and like you can just feel every visceral moment and every punch you can feel in the controller. It's just, it's so good.
It's got to be satisfying.
Yeah. I rented it from the library, but it's due Monday, so I couldn't finish it. So I signed up for a free trial of GameFly just so I can.
Why not just buy the game?
Because I don't
cost $50.
Yeah, it costs like $50.
What?
I'd rather spend on comics right now.
A month?
Yeah, it's only been out like a month.
Maybe 2.
So anyway. That was well worth cutting my hiatus.
Breaking hiatus.
But after I finish the game, I'll go back to it for a while.
Sweet.
I've been reading a crap ton of comics still. I found one called Black Hammer, which is about it's by Jeff Lemire, who writes a lot of interesting, like almost like hometown style comics, where it's just like almost like existential, but like because he comes from a small town in Canada, so a lot of his stories are just like real life stories about like people on farms and different things. But he kind of takes that and applies it to like the superhero narrative. And so it's both a celebration of the superhero genre, but also a deconstruction of it. And it's about this like team of superheroes who like defeated this like enemy or this universe eating enemy or whatever. And they got, all of a sudden they're like transported to this other dimension or whatever. And they're just like on this farm and they're like living. And like basically right now, I've only read the first trade. I'm waiting on the second one from the library. but basically like you don't know why they're on the farm. They don't know why they're on the farm, and there's all these like mysteries.
But
like,
old McDonald had a farm.
oh yeah,
E-I-E-I-O.
Sorry.
but there's all these like
just imagine like Superman frying eggs with his laser vision.
I mean, that's kind of how it is, though. It's like it's this weird team of superheroes. Like they're all kind of like based off of real superheroes. Like there's this one, she's a little girl, but before they transported, she was an old lady. But her superpower is like Shazam, where like she says the name of this wizard and she turns into a little girl called Golden Gale, and basically like. Now she's a little girl for some reason in this other universe, but she's really like a 50-year-old woman or something, or 60, I think. And it's like, and then one of the guys is like older, and it's kind of like they're basically just a family now living on this farm, and they're all superheroes, and they're just like confused about why they're there, and they want to leave, but the old guys kind of like, we're comfortable here now.
Well,
like,
better grab your pitchfork, get the hay.
Kind of, it's kind of like that. It's like
time to feed diabetic horse.
That's exactly where my brain went to.
It's kind of like a weird. It sounds
surreal.
It feels really
cool.
good.
Yeah.
I don't know why. The reason I found it was because people recommended it for fans of Hellboy. So
I still need to read Hellboy.
I got my collection is massive now. So
Nice.
I'm gonna need to just borrow it. I got back into One Piece because I got like for Josh a wonderful birthday present. Got like 20 books.
Yeah, that's pretty
20
dope.
One Piece books. I'm at, for brief count, bear in mind I've been collecting One Piece since I was in 5th grade. Got my first book. I have books 1 through 70.
Attaboy.
So I'm a fan of One Piece. I could do a whole podcast on why One Piece is a great manga, but I will not get into that. Recommendation I have real quick if I can. I didn't get to finish it yet because it's almost like I've been savoring every little bit I read. It's got the weirdest name, but it's really, really good. It's one of the best drawn manga I've ever seen. It's called Dead Demons Quadruple D Destruction. It's like, what the frick is that? What does that even mean? I still don't even know what it means. It's this weird... Did I talk about this one already?
I don't think so. Make it quick.
Really quick. Really, really... another kind of surreal story, but really cool. The writer of the book... it's like Inio Asano or something like that. Just infamous for like some of the best art ever. Like he's so good at just his detail, like he's like really highly detailed in like setting pieces and stuff like that. And just story 2 are really super existential and deep. This one, the whole premise is that a couple years ago there was like an alien invasion in Tokyo, and like there's still a mothership just like hovering over Japan. But it's been like 2 years and nothing has happened.
I feel like you have talked about this.
I think
It sounds
sounds
very familiar.
I must have mentioned this already. Shoot. Well,
no, it's all good.
I still recommend it again.
It sounds very.
It's such a cool idea because it plays on that idea, and like the main character too acknowledges this. It's this idea of like she is like like the high school girl and blah blah blah. But it's interesting because it's under the preface of literally for 2 years, Tokyo has technically been under an alien invasion, but like, and it does such a great job of like you don't see the aliens, but like they insinuate like people fighting back against them or like destroying their space probe ships or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And the main girl is like, we've been under this alien invasion for like when the alien invasion happened, I was hoping that life would get more exciting, but it's just the same, which is I feel like is such a weird but really cool concept for a story that you could go. That I'm really excited to see where he goes with that. So, Dead Demons Destruction, check it out.
Nice.
So.
Finishing off my list here, I've been reading a comic called New X-Men. I've been having a hard time finding X-Men comics I actually like. For some reason, I'm just not a huge fan.
Isn't there just a plethora of them, though?
There's a ton of them, and there's a lot of highly rated ones. I'm just not a fan of like the 90s art style in comics, especially with X-Men. It's a little bit like campy, like cheesy. But I found one called The New X-Men, which is by Grant Morrison, who's kind of like a trippy sort of comic writer. And it's been super good so far. He kind of like pared it down to like all it is Beast, Wolverine, Jean, the Dazzler or Ice Queen or whatever her name is. And I forget who else, but it's just like 5 people and it's about them.
I really want to find a comic with Cable.
Yeah, there's Cable versus, I think there's Cable and Deadpool. He has. I
really want to get
comics.
Deadpool and Cable. Yeah. That's supposed to be really good.
Old Man Logan. I found out that there's actually a series called Old Man Logan.
Yeah, that's where it came from. I remember that one being out for a while.
There's a comic called Old Man Logan that was written in 2009 by Mark Miller, who has written a lot of good comics too. But there's a running series now called Old Man Logan that's written by Jeff Lemire, the guy who wrote Black Mirror, or Black Hammer. And it's good. The art style is interesting, but it's basically like, because the original Old Man Logan was like an alternate universe Logan, but this one is like what would happen if that Old Man Logan came into like the current Marvel universe, and so like he crosses over to a universe where Wolverine's dead. Yeah. And like now
kind of like Ultimate Spider-Man,
basically. Yeah. And so now he has to figure out like why he's even there. He doesn't even have any idea like how he ended up there and stuff. So it's interesting because it's like a little bit dystopian and like a lot of things are gone haywire. Watched the first Captain America film with Evan, and like you said, I actually thought it was pretty good. And Evan, it's
a good establishing movie. It's like I think people just saw it as boring because there wasn't as much action, but. Yeah, and Chris Evans is he can be stale sometimes, especially in that movie. Like,
I think when he's like the nerdy little dude, it's
weird.
It's awkward. But I think it establishes Cap's character pretty well. So I thought it was good. Evan liked it too. I didn't think she would like it because it's a war movie, basically. But she actually liked it. Thought it was fun. And then music-wise, I've been really into rap.
Buddy.
Kids See Ghost is a new collab with Kanye and Cudi. It's super good, super like funky, groovy,
really psychedelic, almost like there's some rock stuff in it. Psychedelic
rock.
I think that's the Kid Cudi part of it.
Yep. And he samples Kurt Cobain on one track, which is like the last track of the Cudi montages.
I'm not a huge fan of Kid Cudi's like rapping style, but Kanye's verses are just
and Cudi's his hooks and stuff are really good on that album in my opinion. And then I've been listening to Chance the Rapper. So
buddy.
Coloring Book's really
10
good.
Day. Check it out. That's his first mixtape that I really, really like. But Coloring Book's good too. I think that's
that's the only one that's on Spotify. So
well, I think that was like his first like official album. Yeah. That's a great album though.
Want to hear a funny fact? Jim Carrey will reportedly star as Dr. Eggman in the live-action Sonic the Hedgehog movie.
That's kind of a depressing fact.
Yeah. Dead in the water.
I don't know like the impetus behind it.
There's so many there like that just had so many layers of like so Jim Carrey's in
Emotional Roller Coaster, like Jim Carrey. Okay,
Jim
Eggman,
Carrey. No. It was just like, okay, Jim Carrey, what has he been up to? Eggman, why is he live
action
so there's going to be
live action Sonic. What?
Live action Sonic the Hedgehog. Live action.
It's going to be like that freaking meme of
action Sonic the Hedgehog. Why?
I'm going to have to edit that out.
Sorry.
Jeez.
I needed to
emphasize
my frustration in some way. What is with the live actions? Like, they've been doing that with anime too, and every single one of them has been awful. Forever, like, it's really sad.
Yeah, I don't know why
I don't know why they're trying so hard.
I'm on Twitter right now, and it's just depressing. There's another post about Toys R Us officially closing down.
Yep,
and it's a Jeffrey the Giraffe mascot with the little suitcase.
Yeah, he's like, goodbye,
have you seen
guys.
That? Yeah, it's him. Okay, this is the photo.
No.
Okay, and this is what the sign says that's on the front of the store. I guess everyone has grown up. There's no more Toys R Us kids.
That's not fair.
That's so sad.
I still like toys. Don't put me in a box, Toys R Us.
This is why you're dead.
Oh boy.
Because you put people in a box.
You wouldn't let adults shop at your store.
Also, the Toys R Us that was by us was very shady. That's where
we
didn't go.
That's true. Also, other funny fact: I just saw that Nintendo apparently has in this week's Nintendo Minute, Kit and Krista talk about their unpopular gaming opinions. Sounds familiar to me, Nintendo.
What do they say? What do they say? We're not huge fans of Waluigi. He's a bad guy. He is ugly and stupid.
I don't know.
They just give like really bad opinions about Nintendo
I just was like, that is... I don't know who did it first. I don't know.
We did it first.
I think we did it first.
The clickbait?
No, the fact that it's literally our segment. Unpopular opinion. Stole it! I'm just kidding.
People... I'm just kidding. Over the years, people have expressed
anytime that you can throw a hissy fit about someone else stealing your idea...
Don't take advantage.
This says Dr. Robotnik. Is that the same as Eggman?
Yeah, they're synonymous.
Really?
Yeah. Technically, they shouldn't be because Dr. Robotnik was the actual OG villain from the 90s.
The real Dr.
The
This
Robotnik.
real-
fricker,
That fricker.
he's shaped like an egg.
Yeah.
That's
That's
very
why
clever.
his name is Eggman, which is terrible
Which is
because
dumb.
I
he's
feel like
shaped
Sonic
like an
should
egg.
just not be a movie.
It just shouldn't
I
be a
think-
live
no.
action
I
movie.
think
No.
Sega needs to let that franchise let it rest for a while.
Yeah,
They did. Yeah, I know. It's
rough.
really sad. Well, like, it's funny because Sonic Mania did. It was, Sonic, I think we talked about this. Sonic Mania, I've said before, was one of my favorite games from 2017. Still a great Sonic game. But then they immediately followed that up with Sonic Forces, and it was awful.
Well, the official Sega.
Yes. Yeah, because
Made
Sonic
it.
Mania was made by...
It was like a small team
it was like
that
Christian
was
Whitehead.
licensed.
It was Christian Whitehead and like a couple other people.
Yeah, so it was like a small team that was given the license
So
to make
people
it.
that weren't a part of Sega made a better Sonic game than
Right.
Sega.
Which
So-
makes sense because Sega hasn't made a good Sonic game for like.
They haven't made a lot of good
Ever.
games,
Which is sad,
recently,
yeah.
So yeah,
Poor
that's the
Sonic.
thing.
At least
Poor Sonic.
Mario's still doing well. The new
Mario.
we already talked about. You guys already talked
What
about
time?
E3.
What are we
No,
looking
go
at
for it.
time?
We're at 125. You
Okay.
got 5 minutes, and
5
then we're
minutes.
closing out.
All right. That new Fire Emblem game.
Dog.
Oh my! I was not expecting it, and I was
Yeah.
like when it was just like long ago, the Three King. I was like,
What
ooh,
is this?
ooh, and it showed like the fire. I was like, ah! I did like the. Have you guys seen that? Like the "It Is Wednesday, my dudes."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I literally was like, ah! I was freaking out. I was so like I was more excited for that than I was for Smash
Yeah, I would agree.
Honestly.
I was
because I was not expecting it.
Yeah.
Like I've been waiting for a new Fire Emblem game. Like I didn't not even I like hadn't thought about. They had just said that they were going to bring a Fire Emblem game to the Switch, but that one looks like super promising.
top
Like
stuff.
changing up the gameplay in a way that's not too drastic, but it's cool enough. Like they're having like multiple people battle each other at once. That's brilliant. Fire Emblem's capable of doing that. I'm a huge Fire Emblem fan, so I've actually been playing Path of Radiance recently.
We
Attaboy.
went into Fire Emblem quite a bit on the last episode too.
Yeah, actually, we did. We kind of
like
nice.
realized that we weren't as excited for Smash as we thought we were,
yeah.
or something.
You know what? Yeah,
or like they just trailed on too much.
it was.
About
Yeah,
all the
it
characters
was.
and stuff.
That was a complaint from a lot of people. Is that like there's so many other IPs that people wanted to hear news about. I think Metroid Prime 4 and Animal Crossing were the two that people were like, where the frick are they?
I did have. I found
wanted
an
Pokies.
article. I'm gonna pull it up.
No, they talked about Pokemon enough.
All
Or the new-
during
no,
the
the new-
conference, all they talked about was how you get a Mew if you buy that controller.
No,
and then
legit,
they
it
showed
was like,
gameplay.
oh,
they showed
hey.
gameplay afterwards, but still,
That one mech game that they showed for the Switch looks really, really good. Oh, the other games I was excited for, Death Stranding. Oh, I'm so excited.
like I'm just
I'm
buying it
so
because I
ex-
want to know what the heck is happening.
Yeah, I know.
Like I just need to know.
This is the thing is I was so excited for Silent Hills because like watching PT. If you guys don't know, I think we talked about that in a horror episode. Actually, that's
Yep.
I say is for me is like the pinnacle of a horror media thing. Is that game specifically is like brilliant in my opinion, just brilliant in design. So I was super excited for Silent Hills when they announced that, but then when Kojima got kicked out of Konami, I was like, they are idiots. But then as soon as he said he was making his own game and Death Stranding, like was showing the trailers, and especially this past one, I'm like, oh, yes, I am so excited.
All right,
I'm
real quick.
ready for a super deep, complex game like that. So,
So this is from IGN, and the article is titled "Nintendo Talks About the 6 Big Switch Games Missing from E3 2018." So I found this right after we did our E3 episode, and so they interviewed Bill Trinan, who is the senior product marketing manager, and they asked about like Metroid Prime 4, the Pokemon RPG, and his response was actually interesting because I think it's actually what we had predicted was the thing, which is there was other stuff that we probably could have included in E3, but it is probably a bit further out, and so we decided to really keep a focus on now and early 2019, which I think you saw some hints of with a couple of the games. And it was like, we want to show stuff when we think it's ready to show. Obviously, it's not like we've stopped working on anything. We've talked about the last year that stuff is all being worked on. We'll just show stuff when we're ready to show it. And really right now, the focus is on 2 big games in the form of Smash and Pokemon.
yeah.
So
Which makes sense. That's kind of what we
Well, like there was
digressed
such
towards.
there was such a ginormous hype train for Smash. It makes sense that was the focus of E3.
yeah, and,
So-
and not to like, I mean, granted, I still would have loved to hear about some of these other IPs or and stuff like that. But I mean, we're still getting some big games later this year.
Yeah.
And in honesty, like I feel like Nintendo's kind of spoiled fans in the past year just because there's been so many huge
Splatoon
drops.
2, Zelda Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, even like Mario Aces. Everyone said it's really good. Everyone's been saying it's really good. Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
There's been a lot of stuff. ARMS and
ARMS is fun, yeah.
There's been a lot of really strong titles that have made its way on, and so I think it's almost like, where are our other IPs? And granted, a lot of those IPs haven't seen any love.
You're
since
not going to appeal
to
to. Yeah, it's like Nintendo is very much the fan group of like, if you're a Nintendo fan, you love Nintendo as a whole, but you have specific series that you love and care for. Like when we talked to Tom Jokey, like Tom Jokey loves Metroid more than anything, whereas I'm like, I love Zelda more than anything. That's like, so like I'm satisfied for the time being because Breath of the Wild like blew me out of the water and was best game of the year 2017. So
totes.
And I'm just waiting on Pokies.
I hear that.
Poor Phyllis in the I mean, I'm excited for Pokies too. I want to hear about that new, like the new series that they're coming. Like Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, I'm excited for, but like I was more excited to hear about like a new Pokemon
show.
Sweet. Well, we'll close it out. We can always talk a little more E3 next episode. So not the one with Mr. Bears next, but the following one.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler. And with that, you can check us out on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and YouTube. You can follow us on Twitter at 61 Creative, at I am Phil Sorensen, at C San Pellegrino, and Chris is at Chris of the Vast. There's also the podcast Twitter, which is at popculturepunks@gmail.com, and you can email. You can email us any questions, topics, things you want to say, bad reviews, etc. to popculturepunks@gmail.com. We also have a Redbubble page that has some designs and stuff that are based on our logo.
Get a little t-shirt
and some variations. So if you want a little muggy mug, little tea,
little
t-shirt,
little baby cup because you're a baby,
big baby,
sippy cup,
get a sippy cup because you're a big baby.
Big baby
Get
with
that.
the sippy cup.
You're not up to date on South Park, are you?
No, not at
There's this past season when the one guy replaces Alexa for Cartman, and it's like Jim Bop. I bought a Jim Bop.
He's like, and
I saw that one. Yeah.
She's like, Jim Bop, play. Oh shoot, what is that song?
Humble by Kendrick Lamar.
Play Humble by Kendrick Lamar. He's like, playing Humble by Kendrick Lamar. Do. I remember syrup sandwiches and grandma allowances. It's just like, oh.
So I laughed so hard at that bit.
He's like, Jim Bop, say this. What the hell are you talking about, boy?
The hell you talking about?
Oh, gosh. And with that, before we fall out of our chairs out of exhaustion and lack of
air,
Randy.
Sweat.
The Randy has run.
That's
Randy
disgusting.
Has run.
Job security, but I've been dreaming about packing it all up, cause the war in me just won't relent till there's nothing left but dust. So what do you do when the walls start closing in, and everyone you love tells you it's all just in your head? And I wanna burn out in a brilliant burning blaze, don't wanna be stifled by the dry rot or the haze. Giving up, I just don't have the time to waste all my days rewriting all these lies. I'm not giving up, I just don't have the time to spend another moment living someone else's life. takes life.